Galatasaray 0, Fenerbahçe 0. Another disappointing match for Fenerbahçe in the intercontinental derby and in the Turkish league, to be honest. Firstly, I want to talk about what happened in the match. Fenerbahçe was definitely the better team. Despite the fact Galatasaray had the majority of the ball, Fenerbahçe, not only did they have more of the dangerous attacks, Galatasaray had like barely any dangerous attacks. If you look at the XG, Galatasaray didn't even get 0.2 XG, I think. Fenerbahçe got like 1.6. There was a goal that Fenerbahçe scored that didn't count because the keeper, Muslera of Galatasaray, got fouled. Very unfortunate. I think this game could have finished 2-0, 3-0. And Mourinho coached the win. Fenerbahçe has now got into the position where they're the ones hunting Galatasaray. It's always a difficult position. But it's also disappointing for the players. I think most of the players turned up. Oğuz Aydın, who's the one who scored the goal, but it didn't count. I think unfortunately the Fenerbahçe's attackers could have been done better. Because in terms of creativity, Fenerbahçe didn't have a problem. It was simply in front of goal. But I do think even though they were big chances, again, they were ones that could have gone either way, and I don't really blame the players. But it was disappointing not to see, for example, En-Nesyri, who's been on blistering form in recent times, not make a goal contribution. Unfortunately, this is sort of a recurring motif for Fenerbahçe these past few years. I think it's just the overall league campaign, they put themselves in a difficult position. Like last year, 99 points and still didn't win the league. And can you believe it? That's despite beating Galatasaray in one of the matches and drawing to them. And, you know, that's not enough to win the league because it's certain key games. And there's a comparison I want to make. One team that I think is so similar to Fenerbahçe, Arsenal. At the 23-24 season, much like Fenerbahçe, they were, you know, it's an unpopular opinion, but the slightly better team that, you know, arguably deserved to win the league. Arsenal lost to Aston Villa, and that key game, that's what it was that cost Arsenal, because their running was actually pretty good. But when you're against Man City, or in Fenerbahçe's case, when you're against Galatasaray, who's going to get 102 points, despite the fact you've beaten them and drawn against them, you've taken 5 points off them. But when you're against that kind of team, you can't afford a slip-up. And Fenerbahçe, in their own stadium, slipped up against Trabzon. And I think this season, when Fenerbahçe lost 3-1 at home to Galatasaray, it's a slip-up again. Lost 3-1, you're giving them 3 points, you're losing 3 points. If that was a draw, that's a net gain of 3 for Fener, because Fener gains 1 point, Galatasaray loses 2. Points table going into the game yesterday would have been a 3-point gap. With ceteris paribus, you know, if all other games were equal. I think this is just the situation with Fenerbahçe. It's just unfortunate. You sometimes have to accept that. I think it's a sad reality for Arsenal fans as well, where you may deserve it, you may get so close, but it's just not enough. I think Fener now just have to keep applying the pressure. Obviously, they're not going to play Galatasaray again, but Fenerbahçe have the chance. If Fenerbahçe win every game, they can certainly win the league, but it just won't feel the same. These derbies, if you win the derby and you win the league, it makes sense. But even if you deserve to win the derby, if you don't win the derby, you know, what is it? So I think going forward, what should Fener be thinking? Well, obviously keeping the pressure in the league, you should be doing that. You should be looking to win every game in this position, especially the Turkish league, when Fenerbahçe and Galatasaray now almost have a duopoly, are much stronger than the other teams. So Fener can look to win every game, and Galatasaray have looked a bit shaky recently, so they might not win every game. Fener needs Galatasaray now to slip up in 2-3 games. You know, they might slip up in more, so anything can happen. I think, but Fener, what they need to do is now a strong Europa League campaign. You know, I think Fenerbahçe can genuinely win the Europa League, because a few years ago, Fener was in the Europa League. The champion Sevilla, Fenerbahçe outplayed them in the second leg. It was 1-0, but it could have been multiple goals. But the 1-0 was from a penalty, even though Fener created so many chances. And mind you, this is a Fener with Arda Güler, Ene Valencia, Michy Batshuayi, Szymanski, many strong players at the time. But Fenerbahçe again, like Galatasaray, couldn't score from open play other than the goal that didn't count. It's just disappointing. But knockout football, you know, anything can happen. I think it's going in there with a fresh, clean state, unlike the league where Fenerbahçe is already on the back foot. Fenerbahçe's bracket is not that bad. I don't really see anyone in the Europa League putting a significant challenge to Fener. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Ultimately for Fener, what matters now is in the league as well, it's a critical season because Galatasaray are on course to get the 25th title and get the 5th star on the badge. And Fener need to do everything to stop that. And it's like the Premier League as well in terms of United want to stop Liverpool from getting the 20th title even though they're not in the title race. Well, Fener is in the title race. They want to win, but they also want to stop their arch nemesis from getting what they want and just keep going and also do the same in Europa League as well. Thank you everyone for watching. See you in the next video.